So, hey, um, I'm on holiday this week from work. I'm not going anywhere. I just thought I'd write some code for me, not for work. Uh, so that's kind of fun. Um, and I should be writing some code that is my build server or my Slice abstraction or my web server or one of the other endless projects that I've got. But instead of doing those, because everything becomes a grind. So I started just noodling with a thing that I've been meaning to do for ages. I want to kind of make a game. I drew these characters um, years and years and years ago by hand and stuff. And they were very geometric. Um, and it's sort of like uh, the inspiration for them, at least. I don't know whether they still are. I'm intending them to be. But the inspiration for them was the three kings in the Christian story, the birth of Jesus. There are three kings, or sometimes they're characterized as wise men. I can't remember what it says in the Christian Bible um, about these, whether it calls them kings or wise men. I cannot remember. But they came from the east, so I mean that could mean anything. It could mean that they came from um, 20 miles away, or it could mean that they came from India or that they came from China. Um, who knows? Um, and so, anyway, I've always wanted to, when my children were young, I used to draw these and we used to um, imagine the stories we would tell about them and not imagine the stories we would tell, but imagine telling stories with them, like telling the journey story. And there was a book that we loved um, called The Fourth King, which was about one of the wise men who was friends with the other three, but he kept getting delayed. He never got to Jesus because he always got delayed because he was too good, really. And he just got into scrapes along the way. He had to save some children from slavery and all sorts of things. And all my children loved that book. So yeah, I've got a whole bunch of stuff, and I have done some things today. But I just thought I would do this, and maybe I could get it going for Christmas. I suddenly, when I thought of it the other day, as just oh, maybe it could be an HTML5 thing. Um, I suddenly realised it's nearly July. Um, if you were going to make a Christmas game, you'd start about now, wouldn't you? So I thought I'd do it, give it a go. You know, I have got so much else to do that I don't know as I can afford to do this. But hey, sorry, coffee, very nice. So anyway, I've made this thing move about. The thing about it is it's entirely geometric. So if we come in here and we go look at the code, um, so what I was thinking about that is quite interesting that it's entirely geometric. This is just a few simple triangles really. Do you see what I mean? Just it's very simplistic. Um, this edge of the hem of his robes is actually um, a little bit larger than the back of his head. But as you can see, his crown just sits on his head completely flat. His beard does extend a little. Can't see it very well on this black background. So I've got an idea for how you could turn this into a game. We could have, or at least a simple game. I mean, I think it's very easy to consider a complex game, but we can imagine a maze that we have to travel through to get to the bottom. And to travel through it, perhaps there are people obstacles, and the best thing, instead of killing them, we're going to give them gifts. Perhaps even there are things in the maze, and we have to go and find the things in the maze to give the right gift to the right person. So that would be good, wouldn't it? Yeah. Anyway, but to do anything like that, you'd need to actually make it work. And right now he doesn't have any feet, and so the original character had sort of just again more geometric feet. But I suddenly realised what I wanted to do. So I've been doing something else, and I suddenly realised what I wanted to do with the feet. I don't want them to flap. I want them to just go up and down. And I just think that'd be funny. So I was just going to draw. I'm not going to stream for very long because it's nearly dinner time. Maybe it's an hour or something. I thought I would just stream for a bit and see if I can implement these feet, or at least draw a foot. So I thought it might be interesting if anyone is watching. I don't know what it's like on a weekday. Don't know how big the foot would be. I'm not sure I need this up-down direction either. So where do we get to? We get to so we end I think a long way away from the foot. So it might be better to just move to. All of this could be optimized. So I think I've got a thing about hem width. It's quite interesting. Width. Divided by 10 times 3, maybe. So x plus footstart, comma, where does that's body height. So yeah, I've got all of these encoded in slightly eccentric variables, like the hem width is this width at the bottom of his hem, the body height is this of his tunic, whatever this is, and then you've got things like, you know, beard chin width, which is the bit from where the purple meets the beard to the point of the beard. As you can see, things like crown height. Because without those, it's actually quite, I was finding it very difficult to understand all the variables. So naming parts like a Victorian figure seems the way forward. So we're going to body height. Aren't we? We're going. Is that right? We're going to y plus body height. Yes. So we're going to move to there, and then I want the shoe foot to be a sort of parallelogram. So I guess we're going to go line to, and we'll go down and to the down and to the left first, so like this. So that will be y plus body height plus foot height, and then we'll go ctx dot line to x plus fit start plus we need a foot width, width divided by 10 times 5. We'll just try that for now, and that will be body height plus foot height, and then we need to go x plus foot width and back to y plus body height, and then finally x plus foot start to y plus body height, and we'll make the shoes some sort of green. Is there do you think there's an emerald? I think there is. I vaguely remember HTML5 color styles. Well, that's not nearly big enough, is it? And it's sort of the wrong direction. And also, that is a funny way of staying emerald. HTML5 color styles. Here we go. where are the colors? They're here. There you go. There's yellow ones. This is quite a greeny one. So there isn't an emerald. That's why we're getting the yellow. Well, perhaps dark green would be good enough. Don't think you need the caps. That isn't big enough at all. It's still not really big enough. Right, that seems reasonable. It's pointing the wrong way, though. I do actually want it like that. But it's pointing the wrong way, so feels like that should be, you know, maybe would that be okay, do we think? And how would we do a second foot? Yeah, it's not really a surprise. I haven't added the directionality. To these calculations. So foot width, we could do as 6, take off this plus 10. No, it's got to be 5. So we need a foot. A sub-foot measurement. Foot heart width equals hem width divided by 10. And then that would be is it this one? Yeah, so plus foot heart width. Okay, and then what we do is we've got a left or right indicator. So I can just left. Well, I need my plugin thing for telling me identifiers. I think this might be enough. Oh no, we need it here too. Direction. Just to make it clearer, obviously, it is commutative. Oh, that was interesting. That was very interesting. That's clearly to do with the start why is that? Because we're multiplying the left and right direction. It's not flipping, which I find a bit strange. I don't know why I've done that. I'd like to be consistent. So it feels like that's the right way to do that. Obviously, I've done something ridiculous here. What have I done? I mean, left, right direction's okay, right? Boom. This is all okay. Blah, blah, blah. Right, there's no error. So I don't really understand. So let's make up some things. Maybe x is 100. Left, right direction is -1, right? So if hem width is if hem width is 50, then we're looking at 50 divided by 10, so that's 5. So that's -5. So it would be 100 minus 5, so it'd be 95. So the hmm, um well, it doesn't sound ridiculous, does it? We'll be going from, so when we go this way, we'll be going from, if this is 100, yeah, why is it over here? It feels like it's still getting a negative, a positive direction. Oh my goodness, the characters that go by here. So this would be negative, surely. If this is minus 1, Hemwitz divided by 10, so if Hemwitz is 50, then, it'd be 5 times 3 is 15. And if x, and if this is minus 1, then that would be minus 15, right? Goodness me. I guess what we could do is we could just debug it. No, that's the wrong one. What's going on here? That's probably why. Something's going wrong, and when we're looking at the wrong blasted console. No, okay. So, okay. The trouble is, it's going to come in here all the time because we've got animation on. Uh, you meet some characters. I need a conditional breakpoint. I bet you can do conditional breakpoints. Here we go. Left, right direction equals -1. Someone in the chat is goodness knows what these people think they're doing. I don't know. Do you have lots of AI of this stuff yet? Oh, my headphones are not working. Can you chat? And how much of this can you script with AIs these days? So yeah, they're going to get banned in a sec. So I guess now we can run that. And everything's fine while we do that. And then we do this. And hey! Okay, so there's the call stack. I'm not so interested in the call stack as this is the problem. If these things are AI'd, it's very difficult because okay, now that's persistent and annoying. How do you ban people? There we go. You know, you could easily chew up people's time, can't you? My time is incredibly valuable, and that is, of course, why I'm sitting here trying to animate a 150 pixel king from a biblical story. So yeah. So here we go, look. These have all been set to minus. So now what is foot part width? Why is foot part width? Oh, wait. I think because it already depends, so it's a double. It doesn't need this because hem width is already minus. So let's take that off, refresh, Oh, go on, refresh, for God's sake. And da 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 da, and that's wrong. So, yeah, this also is based on hem width. Look at that, nice. So what we could do now is draw a second foot, and then they could go up and down, and that would be hilarious. And they only need to go up and down while the character is moving, and I think that's quite interesting. So maybe that means we need time to be a factor in the animation. I have done little bits of this, you know, over my life, especially since it got easier in web browsers, because it's just such an easy place to play, or at least I think so. I guess it's still frustrating that you know, I find it super easy to just set up a web server. Bop, bop, bop. It's so easy. But lots of people won't find that easy. So it's still frustrating that you need that kind of environment to serve a file for this so that you can do this sort of stuff. I just think in this era of vibe coding, it has made me think much more about what we have failed to do for people to make learning coding, you know, possible. Even the languages that we choose sort of piss me off, really. Look, I mean, look at JavaScript. What a mess. All of the parentheses and everything everywhere. It's the BBC Micro Computers 40th anniversary or something, and so I've been looking at videos of that, and of course, that age I used a BBC Micro when I was a kid, and BBC Basic, it was so usable. It was really, really fantastic. So yeah, it just feels like we've not done nearly enough to make things like this. So there's no reason why somebody else couldn't make this. It's not hard to do. So anyway, sorry, yeah, big tangent. I've done little bits of this, and as I recall, time being a factor is important. So I guess if we change this to green, and I wonder if we could put one behind it that was dark green. And what we'll be doing is altering the heights. So we probably want to do the back foot first, don't we? And so this will be dark green to imply some sort of shading. And so the foot height we want the same to be, and the foot width, but this we want the back foot start, back foot, back foot, yes, and then, okay, well, we'll just use foot start for this. So the back foot start times 4? Maybe. That doesn't look any different, does it? Of course, if the scammer is an AI, you'd expect it to come back, wouldn't you, relentlessly? So there you go. If I turn this off, does it look any different? I can't tell. I mean, that should be like an offset, shouldn't it? There's no errors in here though, is there? So we take the, oh, this should be foot part width. Is, yeah, some derivation I don't see the difference in colors. Maybe we could do one of these as light blue. Would that make a difference? No, it doesn't. It doesn't seem to be, does it? It seems that they're running over into each other, even though I've got another begin path. So this is most strange. Oh, look, there you can just see. Yeah. Okay. Let's try and make it more pronounced. Yeah, okay. Why is it not pointy anymore? What does it look like with green? I wonder if we could say dark blue. Doesn't look right. I wonder, oh, dark green. That's actually an orange. That's not dark enough, is it? Maybe we could try a sea green. Oop. Oh, right. But if we had that and that, it might look good. Maybe. Let's go with that. But why is it not working? So we go from X I guess that foot width is wrong somehow. So foot width is foot part width times 5. Yeah, I mean that's a literal. So I think we've got to do we don't want it to be this huge thing. So maybe we've got this, maybe because we changed this. So this should be minus, this should be being minus correctly. So yeah, the problem right now is that it's too long. So what this really does, this foot start, is it decides where along the hem. So if you go from X plus part of the hem width, that's obviously calculating the correct point to start. So you want the back foot to start nearer the right than the front foot. Front foot should be nearer the left, nearer the hem start. So obviously, if foot part width is hem width divided by 10, so one hem width is about there, 2 hem widths, 3 hem widths, 4 hem widths, 5 hem widths. And I realise I've put all of that in. So if I take it out again, go back to the previous problem, we can't really see. I just don't understand why that isn't. The back foot start is less than the foot width. Or the back foot start is greater than the foot width. Yeah, okay, so the foot width needs to relate to where the start is. So it should be back foot start plus foot width, shouldn't it? It should. And here we've got foot start, so that should be foot start it should. And I think this will break it, which means that the foot width is too big. Yeah. So that looks right. Okay, perfect. Okay. And now the interesting thing is that the foot height, if let's make this back foot height and we'll say foot height equals back foot height. Whoa! We're using foot height somewhere. 79 it says. I spelt height wrong. That's alright, I think. Maybe it should be the other way around, but that's okay. 1 second. So there we go. So now, as he moves around, we want his feet to move. So if we change the back foot height, let's do the front foot first. Back foot height minus, and that was basically size divided by 10. So if we do size divided by 10 times 3, there we go. So I want to oscillate. Maybe I should just go like this, because then I can oscillate between those two. So this is currently using window.requestAnimationFrame, which I think will move pretty fast. And what we want is to make the things only work when you're changing direction. When you're, sorry, not when you're changing direction, when you're moving, when the last, so maybe we need the last things to be passed in here, which suggests that this whole thing needs to be some sort of game state that we can pass in, which has got the character position and the last character position and stuff like that. But nonetheless, let's do this. So last x equals x, last x equals x, last y equals y, last y equals y. So we need those. Last x, let last y. So the trouble is they could be undefined right now. We'll just do that for now. And then we got to pass them in here. Last x, last y. Okay, so now we're updating them. And so we want to make these a function of, so let's move this one equals last x is less than, is not equal to x, then it is 3, otherwise it is 7. I don't know what to call this. It's some sort of multiple, isn't it? That's interesting. Okay, so it isn't that. That's not how we do it. Okay, so let's just change this to 7. And that's better. So, okay. I mean, they're changing. Let's get this to log when it does something. I'm fascinated how this works, really. So we come down here. Look, it's going up all the time. So that is a bit strange. I don't understand that. Last X. So maybe if we go here, let's put the factor back in. Oh, for goodness sake. Last X is not equal to X. Then this is 3, otherwise it's 7. Right, and I think we should, yeah, we see ever such a tiny bleep. So it's not, you can't simply do that. You need to also have time, and it feels like there needs to be, like it's a separate event. Quite interesting. I'm sure there's some discussion about how this works on the internet. So what we could do is we could just consider them a separate thing, and you know, we could have some state that said whether left foot, right foot. And when we're moving, we would be altering that state based on the time. However, we have got feet, so that's something, isn't it? Doesn't work right there, does it? And it's only going to do 1 foot, so anyway, there we go. Maybe this server isn't running, because this is my code store server. There we go. Okay. I want to make it bigger as well. I think he's too small. Currently size is a function. Oh, right. Going the wrong way, aren't we? There we go. That's probably better. Let's try 20. Probably too big. So 25, maybe. So yeah. The foot movement feels like if we did have time, it feels like we could. So let's not worry about last things. Let's put in the time here. So we'll do get time equals date.value of. I think we'll be able to do something about this. Take the last things off, and I think that we'll be able to make. So let's just look at this. Oh, I don't know how good this is going to be. You're going to struggle to read this. I don't think you can make this bigger, can you? Oh yes, you can. Look at that. So if we go t equals new date dot value of t divided by like what I'm trying to do is say every 10th millisecond 1 foot could go up, or every 100th millisecond. So if I go t divided by 100, yeah, if I go t divided, if the t percent 100 equals 0, then this is 3, otherwise it's 7. I wonder what that does. It ruins it. Oh, because there's no such thing as t. it's only going to blip, isn't it? Sometimes you need maths to be a programmer, and my maths is terrible. So to be numerate, I think, is to be comfortable and familiar with numbers. And I'm more comfortable and familiar with words. Certainly, usually better at managing words than I am numbers. But some things in programming are very symbolic, and I get on fine with those, possibly because I'm very literate. But some things are about numbers. What I want to say is where the mod of time is within a sort of range. Because that's a point in time. So t percent 300 is what? Oh. So let's do this. What happens if we do that? That's not bad, you know. Right, now I wonder if we could do the flip of this. Put animation factor. This is a bit rubbish. Equals 7, then it's 3. Otherwise, it's 7. And we say front foot animation factor. It's a bit flicky, isn't it? Is that just because we've got just two states? And I don't really like it. Maybe, I mean, I think it's about the rate of change as well. I think it's the time times the rate of change. So, I mean, presumably if we do 1,000, it would be once a second. Right, so 500 is what happens when we do that? Oh, that's quite good, isn't it? I suspect this makes, yeah, that one a bit stampy. And I think that you could probably change those numbers. Yeah. Anyway, there we go. I think that you can probably change those numbers depending on the last X and last Y. Which maybe we could just translate into movement. So movement, let movement equal last X is not equal to X. Movement equals last X is not equal to X. So we're going to add movement. So movement then it's that. Bit complicated. Otherwise it's that. Otherwise it's that. Bug. Movement. Movement. Yeah, that's obviously not right, is it? We're back where we started, aren't we? I'm forcing it to collapse only on the time where movement happens. So I'm happy with that. I'm gonna go and have something to eat for my dinner. I guess I need to commit though. Stampy feet. Okay. Well, other than the spammy person who joined, thank you very much if you've been watching, and happy hacking.